Hey there, folks. Time once again to do some retro CSS battles, part of my continuing project to do all of the daily targets that CSSBattle.dev has put out over the years. These are from 2024. We're looking at June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Let's get right to it. Let's make this first image. I think that this is a single square and a bunch of box shadows. I think that's how I want to do it. Let's see what it takes. And like my normal habit is to create the first one using margins and a height. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. And I guess I'm probably using the correct color. I'm going to have a better time with. What is this? 70, 80. Okay, and then these margins. So these are top and bottom and sides. So I want margins on all the sides. Oh, and it looks like that top margin is quite a little bit wrong. How about maybe it's 5? Yeah, 35 and 60 is what we currently got. So 35 is not going to change. 60 is definitely going to change. 0 is the bottom margin because we don't need it. And then this is going to be like 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, and then this margin has to go up like 260, 70, 80, 90, 300, 301, 302, 302. Okay. Then, what do we need to do to make box shadows? I'm going to set color, which defaults to black, right, in browsers that are not in dark mode, let's say. And then I'm going to do box shadow, and I get to choose a whole bunch of coordinates. So let's say 50 pixels, 50 pixels. Is that the right? Oh, and it's going to be, that's kind of nice. I think that means it's 100 pixels, 100 pixels. And then 150 pixels, 150 pixels. And then that number, I don't know exactly what that number is going to be. Let's check 200 pixels, 100 pixels. And they're all nicely divisible. So what is that? 250 pixels, 50 pixels, and then 300 pixels, 0 pixels. That's it. Let's submit it and see. They're all divisible by 50. That has me thinking of something weird. What if these are all pixels and we resize them? So what would it look like if to create an element that was super small, and then so if we divided this by 50, if everything we divided by 50, and then we scale this, because we can scale. So if I do scale 2, that doubles everything. So if I do it by 0.5, that shrinks everything. So could I use this to make these numbers smaller? I think the answer is probably yes. Will it get 100% match? That I don't know. But let's toy with that idea. If I do a scale of 50, and what do I need to do that? So that make this 1 and 1, and then 2, 3, 3, 2, and then what's that number? That number is, what's that number? Well, 1. Yes, okay. Math. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Right, that was 200, and then 5, and then this is 6. So totally invisible. So divided by 50, that one, let's do calc, just because we're paranoid. We'll do 80 pixels divided by 50 pixels. Is that a good idea? Probably not. But so we can't see anything right now because these shadows are so small, and probably because this is moving off. So I think this margin is still correct, but this number has to get a lot bigger. 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. I don't think this is working at all. 4, 3, 2, 1, 50. Is this a terrible idea? This might be a terrible idea. 80 pixels divided by 50. Okay. How about just if the height is 80 and the width is probably 80, so let's do this. Width and height of 10 pixels. And and then we do that too. Okay. And then smaller, 5. Okay, and then how about transform origin? So this is gonna 50%, 50%. I don't know. What do you think? How about just 2? So that's kind of interesting, right? How about 2, 2? How about 3, 3? Oh, okay. So 50 was the margin we wanted. Okay. Six, 7, 8, 9. Over here, I'm going to do 80 divided by 50 equals. So it's 1.6. Let's do 1.6. 1.6. Is that it? And then with margins, we can move that whole thing? Let's find out. Margin 0, 0. Okay, 10. Let's see what we need to do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 80, and then 50, 51, 52, 48, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 47.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.7, 5. I certainly, oh, it's 47 point, okay. That almost works. Okay. How about 81, 82, 75, 76, 75.1. Okay, I'm gonna call it. I love this idea, but I can see that the numbers are gonna be so painful that I don't really want to do it. But fun things you can do with scale, and then that origin, the transform origin. Wow, I guess it's not having an effect there. I don't know. That's I'm gonna undo, get back. So this is one of the great things about the undo that is available, and that CSSBattle.dev has thoughtfully provided as an option. And there's my undoing all of my box shadow locations. Okay. And then we're going to minify and unit replace. And that's yeah, thanks for your patience if you followed along with all of that. I kind of love it. It's definitely something I want to play with in the future. Because it just sort of occurred to me, right? This is a very pixely thing. And so, well, what if each one of these was a pixel? But they're offset, and I guess you got to look at the algebraic, like the factors. What are the factors of those numbers? What numbers do you need to choose so you could do this and have the numbers be easy? So yeah, all right, that's fun. Okay, what do we got here? What do we have here? Okay. Definitely could be done all on the background. Or with two elements. To me, I'm definitely of a mind to do all box shadows again. Box shadows. What's that look like? How about a paragraph element and a second paragraph element? P background like that. Height 10. Let's say. Okay. How about 100? 130? 140? Okay, and then margins, we're going to push to be margin -8, 300, 0, -8. So we're overcoming the margins of the body, and that gets us 1. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just eyeballing it for here. 365, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. And then I'm going to set the color to be that color, and then I'm going to do box shadow. And each one, this shape will have 3 shadows that match its shape, right? Okay, so 40 pixel 0. All right, let's get that math right. 45, 50, 55, 60 px. Okay, and then 300 pixels, 100 pixels. Okay, a little further over, 310, and then down, 4, 5, 6. Great. And then, if that's to be believed, 370 pixels, 160 pixels. Straightforward. Let's create another one. Boom, there it is. And this is going to have different box shadows. So I'm going to call this a var --esh or that. And then the margins are going to, and margin and height are going to be different. So var --h or that, like so. And then we're going to say var of --m or that. So our second paragraph element, P plus P, has different metrics. --h is it's short. Height is like 20. Okay, and I'm going to set a color of red so that I can absolutely see it. Yeah, there it is. And I'm going to set margins. M. So it's going to be, the top margin is going to be like 200. Oh, actually, no. I can do similar margins. I can do a top margin of -8, a right margin of -8, 0, and then 200. Okay. And oh, because it in the flow, it's after this guy, so he needs to come up, so that needs to be more negative. minus 108, 10, 20, 30, 40. Height, let's call it 39. Yeah, so 140 is correct. Our height is wrong. It needs to be 30. Okay, and then this margin on the right is too big. 18, 17, 16, 165. No, 155. 57. 40, 40, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 51, 52. Okay, there it is. And so our shadows is 0, 50 pixels. That's our first one, or 60. Right. And then it's a matter of these shadows. Minus, I don't know, what is it, 160? 200 pixels? Oh, I need the picture, I need the values. Almost, that's almost right. 165? No, 160 is correct. 210. Okay, and then one more, minus 160 pixels and 240 pixels. 250 pixels. Oh, because this number needs to be the same. 240, 50, 60, 70. That is a solution. Let's submit that. Let's see what we got. Yeah. I don't hate that. It's a weird way to do it. I believe I used the quad template, right? So quad symmetry the last time I did this, and it was very complicated. This is more straightforward and a better score. So I guess there's a proof is in the pudding aspect to that. All right, and then lastly, this one, I definitely see the old conic gradient in this. So, but it's several conic gradients. So how do we do that? I want this to repeat, right? Where are the repetitions, and what can we do to make that work? So let's do the longest side first. So conic gradient, transparent, 75%, and then this color. Now it's going to be at 100 pixels, and then down like 20 pixels. What do we need to do? All right, the first thing we need to do, I think it is at 0. We go down. And yeah, so we need to go down. And I'm only trying to do this part right here. Now, is a conic gradient overkill for this? Yes. The answer is yes. But that's not bothering me right now. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. And then let's set a width. And there we go. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Great. And then if we set this width correctly, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And we've got that. Now, I believe now that we have that, a single additional conic gradient will get us the rest of it. And it is, you will be not surprised to know, very similar to that. It just goes down a little bit less, 20, 20. And the at is okay, so the at value is different. Is that it? Oh, and then we need a height. Okay. Okay, and then I gotta think about what is that gradient. Oh, it says it's this width. Or is the center there? Oh, wait, no. Will this work? This might not work. Hilarious. We might need another linear gradient. Yes, indeed. So this is too complicated. But it kind of works. Kind of. Yeah. Well. All right, and then it's a linear gradient. Linear. It sort of feels like a defeat, but I'm going to take this. This is fine. You know, I enjoy the conic gradient. I like this coming in from the side like this. 90 degrees, not DDEG. And then purple. There it is. And then if I make the width, and we're putting it at 0, and then if I make the width 380 pixels, it works. And that's how I'm going to do it today. A joyful start, but it's got me thinking, well, what are the patterns? Because it's irregular, and so they're each. I have to do the corners at a center of a conic gradient if I'm going to like take advantage. But each one of these is really just lines, so they could be linear gradients. There's nothing really forcing them to be linear gradients, other than the fact that they do have this discontinuity, and so there's a little bit of a justification. But there are better ways to do it. I could also, you know, simply create variables for each one of these kinds of gradients and then plop them into place with some no repeats or some judicious repeat X, repeat Y. But, you know, it is what it is as far as that goes. It is a solve to this issue, but it is not clearly the most efficient. It's a better score than I've gotten in the past. So it's the best I've ever done, but I could do better, and that's fine. Sometimes that's where you're at. All right, so these were from June. We experimented with some weird scale and pixels here. The 23rd and then the 24th, all box shadows all the time. And then gradient to go here on June 25th, 2024. Hope you're having a great day. Please be careful out there. It is a brutal and difficult time for many people here in the United States, and that is a huge bummer. I am feeling sympathy for myself and for all of us under a not great regime that is mistreating people. So try to treat people well and stand up for the rights of people who are being hurt, and for everyone, really. Be cool, be fair, go make a webpage.